Hi everyone, we are the Burtons. I'm Natasha, and this is my husband,
Stephen Burton.
Stephen Burton. And what we really wanted to do was come on here and share with you all our testimony in our in purchasing a home. It has been a long process, but we really feel like it's important to share our testimony because, y'all need to know how good and faithful God is. And, it's important to share, it's important for everyone to share their testimony because sometimes you're the only Bible that somebody's going to read. If somebody see that how God's working for you, they going to want to tap into God too. So we wanted to come in here and just share with you guys,
Our story, our testimony.
Yes.
And so we'll dive into it. We'll sum up 2 years in a little, like a Cliff Notes version, but we want to pretty much, our story pretty much starts in 2018. We've been married for 7 years, and it's been a goal of ours to own a home. That's been our goal for a long time. And then we also have 2 children, one that's 5 and one that's 2. And we really wanted to have a home for our foundation and just to give them a better life and all that good stuff that comes with home ownership. But we live in California, Southern California, Los Angeles County. So as many of you probably do know, it is very expensive out here. And so that's been on our mind, and we've been just trying to figure out ways we can make this happen. So in 2018, I own my own business, PerfectTux.com, and my wife works retail. And so in 2018, it was a real rough year for my business. I had just started in 2016, so I was just going up and down, still getting used to everything. But 2018, long story short, was a rough year. It was just a rough year. I put it that way. And so didn't bring home as much money as I thought I was going to. And around that time, we were kind of a little bit discouraged on thinking that we could afford a home in California. We would love to live out here. That's where we wanted to be. We wanted to be in California, but we just were like, I don't think it's possible.
And we actually went to go look at condos.
Yes.
So we had a real estate agent. Shout our real estate agent out.
Yes, Pablo. I'll be sure to tag him or throw some things out for him.
Okay, because he's awesome.
Yeah, he's
so
awesome.
Please holla at him if you need to purchase anything in that.
Yeah, because we was hollering at him for a long time. Like, he was showing us some condos, and like literally they were smaller than the apartments we currently was at, and
it just wasn't going to work.
Just wasn't gonna work for our size. So we pretty much was like, okay, this is not happening out here. We just didn't see a way. So an opportunity presented itself that we could possibly move out of state. There was a couple states, but we kind of ended on Texas, thinking about moving to Texas just because things is cheaper, other states.
Oh my gosh, like going online and seeing how much house we can get for how much, we can afford. I was like, okay, house. This is when it really got on my radar. I really want a home for real. I felt like a house became an idol in my heart, and I was going to bed. All I could think about is the move to Texas. All I could think about was the house in Texas. All I could think about was being near my family in Texas. I just wanted to move to Texas, and the house just ran supreme in my life, sadly.
And that's where we lead to our first kind of thing we did wrong, and the first lesson of our story is that we didn't ask God, or we didn't pray on this big decision. Yeah. We just pretty much was like, oh, this is the move, these are the prices, we doing it, we figuring it out. There was a lot of back and forth because me having to move the business out there, but I thought I could do it. And then, and at the time, Natasha, her job, she's like, gets the best everything all the time. Gosh. In my opinion, all her reviews is like A1.
He always gonna stand for me.
They just perfect. And so we was like, okay, there was a job opportunity out there to transfer. We was like, oh, this is happening, no problem. So we had got an agent out there before we even moved out there. We got an agent. We found a lender out there. We got pre-approved actually.
We was moving so fast.
And so we was just ready to get it. And so long story short with that, like, her transfer did not go through. We interviewed for it,
My pride was hurt. I
and
was
we
being so
have
prideful.
like, we still don't know why. I mean, I have no clue. I'm still a little bitter about it because it's like,
Actually, I just don't even want to talk about it.
yeah. I mean, it was just, for whatever reason, door closed. We like, it doesn't even make no sense. We was just like, why, what? And so after that door closed, we were like, okay, well, you could just get another job.
I was like, I'm gonna get another job. I'm gonna interview for all these other places, and you know, some of my interviews were good. Some of them were poor. I didn't, do well. But I felt confident in some of them. But yeah, every single job that I wanted,
Nothing. Nothing.
like the door was like slammed shut in my face. And I already told you I was prideful, with the transfer within my job. I was super prideful because I was like, why aren't these people like calling me back? Why aren't they hiring me? I was just I feel like I hit rock bottom.
I mean,
For
we
real.
was taking L's like left and right that we thought was L's, but it was really God just closing those doors. But we still was trying to force it. Like he was like shutting this door, then we try to climb over here. We shut that door. We try to climb over here. We shut this door, and we just couldn't believe it. And the crazy thing about that is a lot of the companies that you interview for aren't even around.
Yeah.
They went bankrupt.
They
They
went
closed.
bankrupt and they are no more. And it's, ooh.
Because just imagine we would have moved out there.
I would have moved out there. I would have lost my job. And,
Would have
yeah.
been crazy. Would have been crazy. So we're just like, you know what? We're out here. We'll be out here another year. We're gonna just see what it does. I mean, like we can't move. We have to sign a year lease. So we said, well, okay, we're gonna stay in California.
And then at this point, when I said I hit rock bottom, that's when I was like, God, I'm putting it in your hands. Like I'm taking my hands off the situation, and I'm just giving it to you. And was this the time when we started to join? When we joined VCC,
Yeah. So we found our current home church.
Valencia Christian Center?
Yes, we found VCC, and honestly, if we moved, we wouldn't have found our church.
Yeah.
Which has been a blessing in our lives
Oh,
and
yes.
for our family and our kids. It's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we found our home church,
And yeah, I feel like I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and I started just, going to Monday night prayers and going to Bible studies and just really maturing in my walk with the Lord. And that was still, a home was still a prayer of mine, but I decided to turn my focus to God and just keep asking God for a home and other things too. Like God has blessed me so much, within my family, but I just started to take my focus off of house and put my focus more on God. So
right. So then, so that leads us to 2019. We're like, okay, we're gonna be out here, and I end up having the best year to date for my business. I have a peak season during the springtime, and it was amazing. It broke all records. And to tell you the truth, if I wasn't in California the way the business was, it might have did pretty well as well, but it wouldn't have been as well because a lot of my vendors are local. A lot of the structure I've set for my business should be out here in Los Angeles. And it just took off. I can't say more on a lot of business things happen, a lot of connections happen, a lot of people I met. I got into a business accelerator, a startup accelerator. I got accepted for, met investors, met so many people that was all, if I would have moved or we would have moved to Texas, that would not have happened. So that happened. And then I'll let Tasha talk about, this story is amazing. I'll let her tell her story.
well, so I'm telling you guys, I'm giving the whole house situation over to God, putting it all in God's hands. We end up having a CEO visit in my store, and I was so nervous about it. So I end up going, before the CEO arrives at my store, I end up going to the bathroom, and I'm like praying, I'm like, Lord, you know, just please be with me. Please give me favor with our CEO. You know, she's not my God. You are my God. I'm trusting in you. And, you know, my nerves were calm.
Oh, no, time out. I still feel bad about my part in this, because leading up to her preparing for this, I was like in her ear, like at home, like, what's the big deal? I mean, the CEO coming, why you stressing? Why you tripping? Why you over here studying numbers? Like, don't worry about it. And so, yeah, that was probably, you'll hear the story as it go on, but it wasn't, it turned out.
That wasn't a good look.
I mean, but you know, it happens. Anyways, continue.
Anywho's. So yeah, I went to the bathroom, I prayed about it. I left that prayer, and I felt like I was at ease, pretty much. And I knew that God was going to be going before me and helping me out with this visit. So during this time, I had a customer. I didn't even know she was going to be coming in, but she came in, and she spends like so much money at the store. You know, she's like, but the CEO standing there with the district manager, with my district manager and my regional visual manager, and she's like, how's that for customer service? Because she just, you know, she was pretty much just gassing me up to my CEO, my district manager, and our RVM, and I was like,
but you didn't even have a chance to talk to the CEO that much because you were so busy.
Yeah, well, I talked to the CEO a little bit about like our numbers and stuff like that, but yeah, we just started to get so busy, and it just hit like out of nowhere. And I was like, God, this is you? I like, seriously, like God was opening, like I just had favor. I just had God's favor all over that day, okay?
What is crazy though is that this customer comes in just randomly, not knowing the CEO of the company is right next to her. And like Natasha's giving the best service, or giving her normal service really, and she bumps the CEO like, how's that for customer service? Talking about Natasha. I mean, like, it doesn't even know that's the CEO of the company.
God's favor. God's favor.
Like, she could have got stopped by a red light, or the timing of that.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been thrown off by anything, by that lady wouldn't have shown up there. Like, the timing of that is just nothing but God.
Yeah. And so fast forward from that, like, I'm getting, like, it was like a Friday. I'm sitting there getting my hair done, and I check my bank account. I'm like, hold on, why is there extra money in my account? And then I started to call HR, and I was like, HR, I think I have extra money in my account. I was like, should I call them, or should I just let it slide? I don't know. But yeah, so then
it was a payday. It was payday.
It was payday, and you know, my district manager, like, I think I just emailed my district manager. She's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, you know, CEO thought that you should have an increase. I was like, well, y'all, look at God doing his thing. And literally this whole thing set me up, because it allowed us to have more buying power.
Yes, a combination
for our home.
Of that increase, and a combination of, for the business side, being self-employed, like my taxes being a great year, all of a sudden we could afford something in California that we thought was not possible.
Yeah.
But even then, I was just like, you know, my biggest thing, I just wanted a brand new home, and I just wanted something new. But I thought we were gonna get a nice condo or a nice townhome. I still didn't quite think like a single family home was in our cards. I just didn't know.
And the thing is too, is that he kept saying he wanted something new, and all along I'm like, we're not about to get nothing new in California. I wanted to get an older home that had a backyard, because I wanted a large backyard for our kids. I wanted to get a swing set. I have like all these plans.
Fixer upper.
Pretty much. I thought we could just fix it up. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But that's what I thought, you know, was happening. And, you know, Elder Jay at VCC, he's always talking about, you know, think big, ask big, okay? I'm thinking, like, seriously, I'm thinking small. Not that there's anything wrong with the fixer-upper, but, you know, I gotta remember that, you know, there's nothing too big for God. Honestly, there's nothing too big for God. So, continue.
So that leads us to like into 2019. We're like December happens, and there's this development that I've been looking at that's been a new development that's been going on for like years, but they just started like breaking ground on stuff, and I've been on this waiting list for like 2-3 years, and I randomly get an email that KB Homes is having this VIP viewing since you're on a list. We wasn't really prepared to start looking for a home. In my eyes, we're gonna probably start doing it in April, around the spring, early summer, start looking for a home. And then, but we get this email, so I'm like, well, yeah, let's go check it out. I mean, we didn't know it was brand new homes, detached. Like, let's just go check it out. And so we go there, we love it. We're like, but the prices are like a mystery. I don't know if anybody's ever been like in the first phase of a new development, like a grand opening type of situation. But like it was the VIP, so it was like they hadn't released the prices yet. They were just giving us a range, and we were kind of like, well, if it falls on this range, we can do some things. But if it's on this range, we might not be able to mess with this. So, but we had to get pre-approved and all this stuff just to even get on the list to like pick your lot and all this stuff. Like all this was new to us. We didn't really know what we were doing. So wasn't really prepared. Like thankfully, like credit wise, we was okay at the time. Like everything was pretty much okay. But we definitely didn't have like, we wasn't ready for the down payment at that exact moment. We was just like, are you supposed to pay for this like today? And so we sign up, we do the pre-approval, we get pre-approved, like with our incomes and everything that happened. And they gave us an idea on what price range we could afford. And at the time we was dealing with our own lender as well. He was kind of helping us out with that. But we were like, okay, well, it might be possible. We was like, well, maybe we couldn't, there was like 6 different floor plans. So we had our favorites, our least favorites, and we just go see what's what. We fast forward there, a month like January, they contact us and we're ready to pick our lots and things like that. And the prices gets released and they're like literally like 30 or 40,000 below our budget. What we thought was like below.
Yeah.
So that gave us, even to get a brand new home, detached home, plus be able to get some upgrades.
Yeah.
And get it exactly like we wanted.
And the thing is too, is that our mindset was like, let's just get the house and upgrade
we didn't care.
later. We want to do everything standard.
We was just gonna get in this house. We don't care what was going on. We was just like, we just gonna get in this house. But when they released the prices for us, even when we made the down payment for our lot, and the down payment was only $50.
$50, y'all.
$50 was the down payment.
We paid $50 for this house.
We didn't pay nothing more until we closed on the home for the close off. We paid $50. Yeah. So, and then like literally, so we get the home, like we get our lot, and like the prices come in. We're like, oh my goodness, we can get a little couple things here. So we're like, okay, let's get the harbor, let's get some granite, let's get a little this, a little that. Yeah. And so like literally we got the house of our dreams, literally the house of our dreams at the price that we didn't even think was possible. And the crazy thing is, like, it grand opened like 3 weeks later, and it was already selling at a price out of our price range.
Yeah.
Like, quickly, very quickly. Like, the demand was so high, and like literally God just carved us out like, this is your home. Yeah. This is your price. Yeah. This is yours.
And the thing is too, and I told y'all already that I've been praying for a house. This house is literally what I've been praying for. I asked God, I said, God, I want a white kitchen. I want white cabinets. I want, this, I want that. And this is exactly what he gave me.
Yes.
Okay.
And I wanted a brand new home. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And we got it.
Yeah.
So at this point, everything should be all good. Everything is sweet. We're about to skate on through 2020. I'm about to have my peak season. Everything gonna be great. We gonna be good. We got this house coming. We good. And then COVID-19 happens. Dum dum dum. It all hits the fan. Yeah. Long story short, my whole peak season gone. I got cancellations, refunds. Everything's just done. At this point, I'm trying to hold on to the business. Like, it's just crazy. Everything is hitting the fan. 401k, we was gonna use some of that for the down payment. Tanking by the day, just down, down, down. We're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I won't get into all the details of how everything worked out as far as that, but like, just know through all that, God still provided us with a down payment for the house.
Yeah.
Like, through all that. And I still, to this day, don't have no clue how it happened or why it happened. It was just God. Just God.
And thinking about it too, God literally sustained us throughout this whole pandemic, and He's still sustaining us, because during this pandemic we found He provided an extra source of income. He, had favor on Stevens on your business with doing the masks. Like, you were able to sell disposable and cloth face masks. That did very, very, very well.
Yes.
There
was a lot of things that and the crazy thing about it, like, kind of moving ahead a little bit, but through this whole pandemic, like, really, we've been blessed. Like, we've been fortunate. Honestly, we've came up more than some through this whole thing. It's like, really, God has really looked out for us through this whole pandemic that we look back on now. I mean, going through it, we're like, oh my goodness, but like, literally, it was like, this is yours. I'm providing it for you. I'm providing it for you. I'm providing it for you. So we're pretty much flowing along. At this point, we got the down payment. We're like, cool, we're good. Then Natasha gets furloughed from her job. And so with the mortgage, you cannot close a mortgage if you're furloughed. Like, you can still be an active employee and all this stuff, but if you're furloughed, they don't care. It's just, they tighten, at this time, they're tightening all the standards up. It's even harder if you're self-employed through a pandemic. Like, it's just crazy timing. So,
and during this time too, like, because we're all quarantined, we're all at home, my emotions were like this. Okay, I was up, it was down. One day I'm like, I felt so like encouraged. There's one day I felt discouraged. And I know on the days where I felt discouraged, I just remember praying and pouring my heart out to God. I remember like one time Him telling me that He will take care of me. And I heard the voice in my ear saying, I will take care of you. And it brought me peace. And there was another time where I felt, discouraged, and my daughter Maya, who's 5, now she was over there coloring, and she's like, Mommy, look what I drew you. And it was a picture of a house. And I was like, God, talk about confirmation. Like, I have that picture. I wish I had it right now to show you guys, but it's at our other place, but hanging up. But it's like literally just brought me so much like relief. Took a lot of stress off of me. And it's funny how God can use anyone, even a child, to just bring forth confirmation. So that really just, brought me some peace. And also too, reading the story of Abraham, the father of faith, just really just brought so much comfort and allowed me to take my mind off of this pandemic, and allowed me to take my mind off of other things like this house and stuff. During this whole thing, we were literally walking by faith. There is no other way, because everything was literally out of our control.
Completely. Like, the whole process.
Yeah.
And so Natasha actually gets recalled back to work. So we're like, cool.
Yes.
Everything's all good again. And we're just good. Everything is going great. And then we're about less than a month away from our closing. And then the governor shuts down California again.
Well,
at least the indoor malls. The stuff we care about. He shut it down. And Natasha's back to furlough.
I was like, I know he's not closing down the mall, but I'm trying to get my house.
And honestly, like, I don't know why, I just really had this peace. I just knew something was going to work out. I was just like, we did not come this far. God was not going to let us come this far for all of it to just fall apart like weeks before we closed on this home. So pretty much, you want to tell them how that went?
So, my district manager calls me. She's like, Natasha, we're going to be furloughing again. It's my store and another store that we're being furloughed. I was like, you know what, to be honest with you, I'm about to close my house in a few weeks. Is there any way that you can put me at another location? Like, I will go anywhere. I will go out of state. I will drive I don't care how far. I will go to another store and I will work there if there's anything that you can do. She's like, okay, well, let me see what I can do, but I can't promise you anything. And I was like, okay. So my heart is like this, like for like a few days, like I'm like, oh my God, you know, I was like, I don't know. I was, what is it, jittery? What was that? What was that feeling? I don't know.
I mean, we were scared, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still, like I said, I had faith and I just knew it. But anyway, so you get a call.
So I get a phone call, and it's my district manager. She's telling me, okay, I have great news. We're gonna put you in this location, and you can work there until this date until you close on your home. And all I can do was just like cry and get on my face and just thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, because you know. And the more I think about it, it's not based on anything that we've done. This is all strictly on how good God is, like the goodness. Like this is what it is, like walking in the goodness, okay? Walking, like, you know, having God's favor all on you, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, there's, like, to this day, there's the whole process from back to when Texas, all those doors was closed. Like, we were not in control of none of this.
Yeah.
Like, we had no clue. And it just, when you look back on it, it's almost like, what were we thinking? Like, God was like, my children, calm down. I got this. And we over here trying to force everything.
We trying to force doors open. And you just think about, like, how God, like, went before us. How he, like, made a way. How he closed certain doors. How he opened doors. And when he opened doors, like, he literally opened it. And we were just able to walk through it.
So so you would think at that point it's still all good, but no, I'm talking this mortgage process is big, gut wrenching. So she has a countdown to when she's back furloughed again, and our closing gets delayed a week, and so we're like literally counting down the days, and we know that the days are counting down, but everybody else doesn't know this. And so, like, we get to the point where we're ready to do we get the final approval, and they're ready to get those final docs, and the notary has to come do it. So he was supposed to come do it a specific day, this day this day we're supposed to do it. And then we get a call that, you know, it's too late, and we have to do it tomorrow. And we're just like, oh. Because that means everything else pushes back.
Yeah.
And, like, literally, we're like 4 or 5 days away from when Natasha's last day at work, back to furlough. And so we're kind of just like, oh my goodness, it's about 9 o'clock at night. We're just like, you know, like all the way down to the wire, we're going through this. And then my phone rings and it's like, oh, this is Wall from this title company, and we found a notary for you that could come to your house tonight if it's okay. You think it's okay? Like, yes, it's okay. Okay, what time you coming over, please?
Come at midnight. Okay,
we got some food for you for some alcohol. What you need? We got you. So he comes to our crib. We sign these papers, and so the next day, they're telling us, so this whole thing takes a couple days. So like now they got the notary thing, then they go fund like the next day, and then after that they gotta register, and then you can get the keys. And mind you, through this whole process, they are checking employment like every single day. They are on it. And so, lo and behold, the next day though, they submitted the paperwork, funded the loan, registered it with the county, all in the same day. I get a call from a lender like, congratulations, you were homeowners. And we're like, what? Like, we wasn't even prepared. We even all into the last day, God just blew our minds.
Yeah.
And it was like
he showed us he showed us who he was.
Yes.
Okay? Like, I'm God.
Yes.
Okay, you is God. He's God.
And here we are.
Yes.
In our brand new home.
Yes.
With white cabinets.
Yes.
And
if anything, I feel like just God has been so faithful to us. He's been so consistent, and like I feel so undeserving. Like literally, I do feel undeserving because I showed up at the Starbucks almost every day when I should have been saving money.
We don't want to.
That's another story. Okay, we ain't gonna get into it. But God has definitely been with us through everything. Go ahead.
What's crazy about it is, like, I think we mentioned it before, but we're just not in control of this whole situation. Yeah. I mean, like, and you know when you don't even know how things happen or why things happen, or you can't even, like, there's so many scenarios, this whole thing at play. Like, it could have went an inch this way, or could have went this way. That lady at her job that talked to the CEO got caught up in a red light, the timing, like all this stuff just could have, even the CEO is even no longer with the company.
Yeah.
No longer with the company.
But it's just like God to bless you during a pandemic. Okay? It's just like God. Like, no matter what you are going through, okay, He, like, no man, no pandemic, no nothing can stop what God has for you.
Yes.
Like, for real. And even during this time, even before this house, kind of backtracking, there are so many people who, like my cousin, she had got a house, and I had been praying for a house. But you know what? I wasn't even like jealous of her, and I was sincerely happy for her. And like going to other people's houses, how they have like a brand new home, and just, oh my God, this is what I want. But I wasn't like jealous. I just felt like what God has for you is for you. What God has for me is gonna be for me, and there's nothing like what God has given to you.
And I think, if we sum it up, the moral of the story is, at least in my eyes, is that when God closes doors, it's not because He's trying to do anything negative to you or shut down your dreams. It's because He has something better planned for you that you don't even know about, that you can't even comprehend what's around the corner, when He knows what's around the corner. So when bad things happen or when doors close, just keep trusting God
And just be thankful.
Yes, for even where you're at currently.
No matter what your situation is, just be thankful.
And then the next thing would be just when something's in God's will, it's going to be done. Like, there's nothing that can stop it. Like we already said, pandemic couldn't stop it.
No man can
stop it. It was just, here we are.
Just throughout this whole process, like I literally just cried thinking about all the ways that God has provided for us. Literally, like fresh manna dropping from heaven. Like, seriously.
And with all that, we pretty much at the end of this, we thank you for listening this long, but we just felt like this story and our testimony could just bless someone else.
Yeah,
and that, just keep trusting God, and
He's faithful to perform it. So think big, ask big. Okay, we serve a good God, but we serve a big God.
Big.
God's gonna open the windows of heaven, pour me out a blessing.
All right. On that note, we're out of here.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and watching.